That's all.
Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Ian.
And I'm Lauren.
And this is the weekend workout where we invite you to play with your strength. You have body weight. You have great instructors in Lauren and me who likes to be funny. So we'll try to keep it on topic. Such an early Saturday morning. So thank you for being us here live or in the archive. Enough of that. Let's get going on the head neck mobility. We'll play with our strength, as we said, going to the zoo, exploring those shapes, and of course, core with Lauren on the floor.
And you don't need anything, just a little bit of space.
Maybe a balance aid like we have our chairs and our bar on the wall. At the head neck, small shapes are the best here. Slowly extend the neck towards the ceiling, looking up, and then moderate chin tuck, looking down. Repeat again, pulling down to go up, and pulling the crown head higher, up to go down. Let's repeat that one more time. Lightly pull down on those scalenes on the front of the neck to go up, and then crown head high to return your head level on the horizon. From here, laterally flex on the neck, ear to shoulder, and then pull on that short side to return the ear towards the other side. Then pulling on the short side, stabilizing that movement as we tip the head to the other side. And a couple more repetitions. Small shapes are the best. And we're looking for the head to move, the neck to move very little, but it is the neck facilitating this movement. One more flex for me to the lateral side, and then finish nice and tall. Lastly, at the head neck, it's rotation. So crown head high, chin in, then rotate one way. Easy does it, through center, always growing tall, rotate to the other side. One more time each for me, and Lauren's going to take us through the same movements at the rib cage. Flexion, extension, and rotation. I'll finish rotations of mine at the head to look center, and it's to Lauren for the same movements through the ribs.
With your feet underneath you, maybe adjust your position as you like. I like to cross my arms across my chest. And first thing we'll do is our flexion extension. So with those blades lightly retracted, we'll pull on the rib cage, bringing our ribs towards our hips. Then keep your core braced, but think about extending that upper back a little bit up and over, but keep that low back tucked under as you do so. Repeat again, gently ribs to hips, keeping those blades retracted, and then extending or lifting up that upper back. One last time, pulling ribs to hips, and then extending that heart chest, lifting up and to center. From here, we'll do our little tips. So I like to think about getting up first, lifting up, but not shrugging my shoulders, and gently reaching over one side. Then use that opposite or that long side to pull yourself back up tall, and repeat the other way. A little bit over, and then pull abs back to center. One more time each way. As you do this, try to stay within your cylinder as to not reach out really far away from you, and tall. And last one, little bit up and over. And then back to center. Now, with your hips forward and your butt squeezed, let's rotate our rib cage. So head stays on center, rotation through that upper body, head comes with you, stays on center. And then pull back through center. Head stays in line with sternum, rotate that upper body. One more time each way with your head coming with you. As you rotate to the left, push your left hip forward or vice versa. Switch directions. Last time, keeping that hip forward and back to center. Let's do one more rotation. This time, keep your head facing forward and rotate only your rib cage. And then back to center. And last one, head stays forward, rotating only your rib cage. And then back to center. Let that rib cage go.
Let it go.
Whew.
The head, the ribs aren't the only things that go side to side, front and back, and around. Also, the hips. In a squat stance or any other position for you, posterior tuck the hips, scooping under. That might squeeze your bum and open up that quad or hip flexor stretch on the front. Then, anterior tip or spill the punch forward, maybe you feel those hamstrings. Avoid the feeling in the low back. One more of those. Our posterior tuck, like our planks and our handstands, And then the other shape, that anterior tip, like our hinges. Finish in the middle. Now, hip hike. You might not go too far from this position I'm in here, but hike a hip, center, and then hike a hip. We're looking for the body to stay stable, push that tension through the feet to elevate a hip, and then back to center. For this next one, the round and round, let's get in a little gentle squat, and then nice and slow, let's stir the pot. The hips are moving around those femur heads. The leg bones, those femurs, aren't moving, but we're trying to take the hip and circle around that femur. That's about 2 repetitions in the one direction for me. So here I'll switch, moving clockwise from 9 to midnight, towards 3, towards 6 out the back. Kind of reminds me of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Dun, 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 dun. Enough of that. Okay, from here, we'll get those ankles going and then those wrists.
Ankles. Let's start with our feet underneath us. Or start with our feet. Sorry, I didn't know what was happening there. Gently feel the pull off the floor. So that heel pulls off the floor. You should feel that hamstring a little bit. And then use your toes to push into the floor to that big toe point. And then allow the toes to gently flex over. Now check out that ankle. Isn't it a nice straight line or is it winged out to the side? Allow it to wing for a second and then pull it back into center. Use your toes to push into the floor to get back to tip, and then through the ball of the foot, heel connects, hip pushes forward. Repeat on the other side. Feel that pull off the floor first, that demi-point ball of foot connection, then use the toes to point, gently add that flex over, allow the foot to wing out to the side for a second, but then pull it back under, drive into the toes to get to the point, through the toes, ball of foot, heel comes down, hips extend. Now from here, let's gently press those knees towards over the toes, working on that dorsiflex position in the ankle, and then drive the hips through, extending to tall. Repeat again. Feel that pull, knees towards over toes, maybe shift your weight a little bit side to side, and then drive into the floor, extending those hips forward, and now let's find our first balance. Find that nice rise by pushing down to go up. Keep the knees nice and straight, the hips extended, and then with the knees straight, slowly descend back down. Let's do one more quick ankle. Rotate open to that first position. And same thing, feel that pull off the floor to the demi-point. Push some weight into that demi-point position and feel it light up that inner thigh. Then use your toes to point. Allow the toes to flex over, and then push into the floor to get back to the tips, the ball of the foot, and the heel connects. One more time on the other side. Pull the heel off the floor. Feel that push down. Then use the toes to point. Allow the toes to gently flex over. Get back to the point, through the demi, heel connects. Now let's go here, knees towards over toes, and then press to tall. And one more time, those knees towards over toes. And we'll press to tall, and with those straight knees, find that rise in this position. Ankles are forward, hips are forward, knees are straight. Keep them straight as you come back down. And then, as much tension as you can you also have floppy fish ankles?
Those relaxation moments.
Woo.
Let's get to the floor utilizing Lauren's progressions of that squat with your feet in parallel. So feet in parallel with your toes facing forward. Let's go knees over toes. Then lift those heels, allowing us to get a little lower. And then with the hands like me, or without like Lauren, knees to the floor, extend those hips through. Let's make fists here and place them on the ground with your knuckles touching the floor and your palms facing your knees. From here, can you spread those knuckles to have all 4 knuckles being indexed through the pinky finger touching the ground? Then flex over the wrist. You could open the hand, and does the back of the hand approach the floor? Then as it pushes away from the floor, return the wrist to that neutral fist. Same thing other side. Flex over. There's no urgency to get the back of the hand to the floor, but when you're at your end range, as I am now, I'll push my knuckles into the floor, bringing it back to that fist. 2 more each side. Flex over and push through the wrist, returning to stack. Flex over. Open the hand, then push into the ground, returning, And one last time here, over the wrist, push into the ground, return to a stack, and final repetition, over the wrist, push in the ground, and then push the hips through and add a little bit of a shake. One more movement for the wrist warm up here. Let's have the fingertips face east-west or to the side here. Hinge on the hips. Go fingertips first, callus lines next, then the full hand. With the elbow pit facing forward and those shoulders down, I'll press to the right, sending my weight to the left. Then preload, feel that tension pushing left as you switch to the right. Repeat, pushing to the right, send your energy and weight to the left. Then push left to the right. One more time each way. I push right to move left. Create tension between those fingertips. Then push left to return center. And if you push equally each way, the palms could lift. The fingers could then flick, and we can shake that out. We'll come back to those wrist shapes in just a second. Until then, let's just check in with the glorious or, oh my goodness, splits position. Sit tall. If we can't maintain that lumbar extension, meaning a straight line through the hips and to spine, prop up your bum. Get a chair or a pillow or a yoga block, and just check in with this position through here. It might be rich on those adductors. We'll talk to that in a moment. The feet are either dorsiflex like mine or beautifully pointed, as is Lauren's. How's that feeling here for today? Could you scooch the heels back a degree or two? Then for one more repetition here with me, then we'll hand it to Lauren. Gently extend the spine, push the heart forward, and as we do such, those adductor lines are probably saying, good morning. Keep it a polite good morning, and then just easy on the off. Hey, that's my toe.
Reach that baby toe.
Reach that baby toe. I do like those toe points. So let's reset that one more time. Get nice and tall. And again, extension of the spine. No rounding here. Lauren's side profile will demonstrate that the best again. Pushing the heart towards the floor. Take that breath and then push away. We'll come back to that movement in a second. And for now, it's Lauren's all fours hip mobility drills.
Coming to all fours here, so our hands are under shoulders, our knees are under our hips, and our toes are gently tucked. Let's right now tilt our tailbone towards the ceiling. So if our hips were a bowl of punch, we'd be spilling the punch out of our belly button. Now, I want you to bend a knee, getting the heel as close to the bum as you can. Keep that tailbone tilt, lift the knee off the floor, and then slowly start bringing the knee towards the chest or the elbow. So we're doing hip flexion, but we're keeping that long spine as to not curve under in our lumbar or low back for 3, 2, and then let's place that leg down. Let's do the same thing on the other side. First, get the heel close to the bum by closing the knee. Light tilt to the tailbone if you need to do it more. And then slowly bring that knee towards hip flexion. Keep that long spine. Knee as close to the elbow as you can get it for 3, 2, and then place it down. Now we're going to do slight opposite. So slightly tuck under just to brace the core. I don't want you to round your back, but just have your core engaged. Bring your heel close to your bum. Keep that core engaged and slowly go into hip extension or kicking up towards the ceiling. Not only are you keeping that core braced, but you're keeping your hips square to the floor. And you're trying to kick the ceiling and keep the hips square and keep the core braced for 3, 2, and pull that leg back to center, placing it down. Same thing on the other side, checking that core is still braced. Heel towards bum. Slowly extend towards hip extension. Both hips square to the floor. Shoulders square to the floor. Keep holding and breathing for 3, 2, and back underneath. We have one more move here. With that neutral position and core brace, we're going to lift the leg out to the side. So again, get the heel close to the bum, bending the knee, neutral low back, and slowly lift that leg out to the side. Now that bowl of water is on your back. Don't let it tip off, and hold for 4, 3, 2, bring that leg back underneath. Same thing other side. Core brace, shoulders packed, bend the knee, lift it, and hold. No twisting or dipping for 4, 3, 2, return that leg to center, press the floor away, shake it out. Whew. Woo. And let's come
Woo-wee.
down to that 90-90 position.
Nice.
So we'll have a seat on the floor. And that 90-90 means that front leg is in a 90-degree position and the back leg is in a 90-degree position, knees bent. I like to have a flex foot on this one so that everything is in 90 degrees. It's just a nice number there. All right, sitting up tall. Let's do a couple rotations tall first. Just our head looks one way and back to center, and head looks the other way and back to center. Now let's do that same idea, but come down to our elbow. So with that elbow on the outside, it's in line with our hip. I like to just take my top arm across my chest, do the same rotation. Head looks at the elbow on the floor, head looks back up to the ceiling. Now this time, head's gonna look at the elbow on the floor, and then shoulders are gonna rotate closed. Now stay here for a second, squeeze your back butt cheek and push it forward. Rotate your head to look at the ceiling, and then rotate your chest to open up. And while you're there, is that back hip still extended? Do that one more time, keeping the back hip extended. Head looks at elbow on the floor. Rib cage rotates. Back hip stays forward. Head rotates open. And then shoulders rotate open. From here, we'll press the floor away. Sitting up tall, maybe trying a second with no hands as you sit here for 3, 2. Now we're going to change sides. To change sides, gently keep your front knee heavy. Stay square forward. Lift your back knee. When you can't lift it anymore, start adding a rotation in your upper body, but keep your front knee heavy. When you can't keep your front knee heavy anymore, it'll fall with you. You'll end up in your hungry bear for a couple seconds where we'll just sit up tall, nice extended spine, and then what was your front leg will rotate in to become your back leg, and what was your back leg will rotate open to become your front leg. And we'll be in that 90-90 position again. You might be facing away from us, so maybe turn around or just listen. Okay, sitting up tall, we'll do our rotation from up tall. So head looks over his shoulder, back to center, head looks over his shoulder, back to center. Then finding that outside elbow in line with the hip, pack that bottom shoulder, arm across chest, and let's extend that back hip right away. Our rotations from here. Head looks at elbow, rib cage rotates. Head looks at ceiling, rib cage rotates open. One more time each way. Back hip still extended, bottom shoulder packed. Look at the elbow on the floor, rotate rib cage. Look at the ceiling, rotate open. Back hip forward, butt squeezed. And then press the floor away to sit up tall. See if you can find some time up here by yourself, no hands. Well, this is harder for me. And then we'll do one more hungry bear just to be even on our openings. So staying square forward, open that back leg, keeping the front leg heavy. When you can't anymore, rotate the upper body. When you can't anymore, lift that front leg, end up in your hungry bear.
Scary.
And then extend to.
One more time in those splits. It might not make a difference today, but doing some of those hip mobility drills can hopefully open up that space where the split is a little bit more comfortable. I feel a little bit more open in this position already.
Oh,
How about you? For 2 more repetitions, choose your foot position. Here I choose the point. Let's extend that heart forward, hinging on the hips so we maintain that long tailbone shape as we reach towards our pancakes for breakfast this morning. Pancakes is chest towards the floor. Breathe. Take a breath in. Add a little bounce if you want, but nothing too ballistic. And then press away. Keep that spine long. Check in. Maybe you need to lift your bum and tip your tailbone back 1 degree. Then, one more time. Spine is long or neutral. Press the chest forward, hinging on those hips. Maintain the spine nice and long. If you pull on the floor, you could convince that body to go 1 more degree low. And then from there, easy does it. Return yourself back up to tall. Lauren's going to take things over here with the first set of plank walkouts and then coffee time squat.
Let's just start this whole routine from standing.
Whole routine from standing.
So come on up, because then we get to forward fold for the first time today, which always feels really
Do a
nice.
fold.
gonna tuck my shirt in for this activity. All right, we're standing up tall. You might need a little bit of room in front of you, but if you don't have it, we can make it work. Tuck your chin, roll yourself forward. As you're curling and rounding here, try to keep those hips from pushing back. What I like to do is keep my weight more in the forefoot, but still keep my heels down. I'm trying to have straight knees, but if I need to bend them, that's allowed too. Let's just dangle for a second. And then let's try to straighten those knees out. And then let's dangle. And then one more time, straightening those knees. And from here, we're gonna walk ourselves out into a high plank. So hands will walk forward, high plank position. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. By that, I mean toes tucked. Sorry, I was distracted by Ian's in the modified position, which is also great. Right now, pull your hands towards your feet. Right hand pulls to right foot, left hand pulls to left foot for 3, 2. Now tilt the tailbone towards the ceiling. Walk your feet towards your hands. If you don't have room, you can walk your hands back towards your feet. Try to get as close as you can together, keeping your hands flat, even though you want to push to your fingertips, don't do it. Then walk yourself back out to that plank position. Breathing the whole time. Plank position. This time, pull in an X pattern. Pull your right hand to your left hip and your left hand to your right hip. And keep pulling in that X for 5. Squeeze your butts. Tuck the hips under. 3, 2. Now tilt the tail up towards the ceiling. Walk your feet to your hands one more time. And by one more time, I mean second last time. And last time, walk yourself out into that plank position. Last plank here. We're going to go between railroad tracks and crossroads. Here we go. Railroad track pull for 4, 3, 2. Then cross or X pull for 4, 3, 2. Then railroad tracks and X and railroad tracks and X. And last time, extending that low back or lifting that, tilting the tailbone towards the ceiling as you walk your feet towards your hands. Get as close as you can. And then push the floor away from your hands. Gently tuck your chin and roll yourself back up to tall.
Excellent.
And take a second.
We started that zoo exhibit today by going to the inchworm exhibit, folding, walking out, working on the inchworm. From there, maybe you can grab a coffee. If I had one, I would. Open up yourself to your squats position. Pull the heels together to create tension through the adductors. Maybe adjust your pants and pull yourself to a low squats position where you could hang out and just check in. We can rock side to side here. We can extend that spine to get super tall. We could also shimmy or shake and wiggle ourselves towards our safest low position. Then extend that spine. Take a breath in and core tension, push the floor away to stand. Let's repeat that one more time. Pull in. Feel that tension guiding ourselves down with control into your safe low squat. Now, could you take the hands on the insides of the legs? Pull a knee on a single side away from the hand. Then move the hand to that knee. Now pull that knee back into the hand, and it might even move the arm forward. Then open to an easy place. Same thing other side. Pull the knee from the hip away from the arm, then move the arm to the leg, and then pull back in. Return to center and push away. Stand tall and ready for the whoo kind of moments that could happen after the squat.
All right, we're going to progress that inchworm into something a lot bigger. I was going to say like 1,000 times bigger, but it's probably like 10,000 times. An elephant, the opposite of an inchworm. We'll end up out in our down dog-like position by coming through our forward fold again. So rolling ourselves forward. Maybe this time you can keep your knees a little bit straighter as you come down, but add that bend as needed. We're going to walk ourselves out into our A-frame or down dog shape. Once here, let's bend the knees, coming down to a bear hover position. I'd like you to tip the tailbone towards the ceiling or spill the punch out your belly button. Now keep that shape in the low back as you lift your hips again in the air. Long spine. From here, we're going to take opposite hand and foot, pushing the floor away with our hand, flicking, and taking a little step forward. Opposite hand and foot, walking forward. If you run out of room, maybe take a step or two sideways. Maybe go backwards. Play around with this elephant. I'm going to start going backwards to where I came from here, still maintaining that contralateral pattern. For about 3 more steps here, check in with that low back. Is it still long and tilted? And then get those feet back where you like them. Walk your hands back towards those feet and stack yourself up to tall. Head is last on top. Flick the hair.
Flick the hair out of the way and make time for one more set of our squats. Open up to that squats position and pull yourself down. This time, could you get to the ball of the foot on one leg and then pull that down? Same thing on the other side. Ball of foot and down. Does that let you get a millimeter lower? Then repeat that effort. It's going to get harder as you go. Ball of foot one. Ball of foot on the other.
Could you stay the same height?
I'm not sure. Then go down. Then do that one more time. Ball of foot. Holy cow on those hip flexors. And last time here on the other side. Then press those feet away. Stand up nice and tall. Maybe even a toe raise. And then heel toes together to shake it out. Elephants, inchworms. Time to go to that lizard exhibit. Get it going.
The lizard's down. This time, we've done 2 forward folds. We're going to come down to our hinge and walk out to our plank position. So we'll tilt the hips slightly forward as we press them back, long spine. Then tip forward, break some rules, walk out into your high plank position. Hands under shoulders, toes tucked, hips lifted and in line with shoulders. Now take a foot, flick the floor away, and bring that foot up beside a hand. First, let's shoot energy out that back heel, reaching away from center and out the front knee. So you're reaching away from your body. Now pull that tension back in, lifting the front foot off the floor, placing it back where you got it. Repeat the other side. Flick the floor away with that toe, bring the foot up, feel that energy shoot away from center, splitting you, and then pull it back in, creating tension, trying to lift the foot off the floor and place it back. We can continue like this, or you could crawl around, adding a little bit of movement. But first, reach away from center, pull that tension in. If you want to crawl, push off your back foot, walk your hands forward into that plank, and that foot will come up to the hand. Reach away from center, pull back, and lift and switch. One more time each side just to be even. Keep those shoulders retracted, nice long spine. Pull that tension back, lift and switch. Last time here, reaching long. Feel that length through the hip flexor, length through the groin. Pull back to center. Both feet are back. We'll lift the hips in the air, making sure we have that long spine as we walk our hands back. This time we'll bend our knees, hinging to tall.
There we are. It's single leg squat time. For that, you might grab your chair, your balance aid, keep it close by, working on the single leg versions of whatever that was. But I think I know exactly what that was.
All the single legs.
Beyonce. So start. Ooh, that was from Newfoundland right there. Start with a single leg at the ankle. Check that out. Then like Lauren did in the warm-up, let's start knees over toes. From there, extend the hip through. Repeating 2 more repetitions, slow and steady. The knee goes over the toe and flex this hip up to provide that stability and extend through. Time under tension. Taking your time will make this exercise more challenging without needing to do a ton of reps. Spend time down low, extend through, and just for once, could you try to find that ball of foot raise and return with control. Lauren said, let's shake it out. Have high tension, provide those moments of relaxation, and same thing on the other side. Which leg did I just do? I think it was that one.
The same thing.
So then same idea here, knee towards center, nice and tall, knee bend, knee over toe. Then hips extend through, cramp up that standing leg. 2 more repetitions, knee over toe, Spend a little bit more time here, and without moving it, pull the knee up, flexing the hip. Then extend the hip to tall, own that balance, and one more time, knee over toe, hang out for a second longer, then hips through, and with a stiff leg, drive down through the balls of the feet to rise, hold, and return with control. We'll continue on single leg squats in a second. There's a couple more zoo exhibits to go through, namely, caw. How was that for sounds? Maybe a crow. Maybe that was reminiscent of a crow.
Chicken.
That was a chicken.
Let's do our hinge. Nope. Let's do our squat. So we're going to hang out in our low squat. Pull yourself down. If you want to just watch, you could watch. If you want to join me, we're going to place our hands on the floor in front of us. We're going to shift our weight forward, coming up to the balls of the feet, connecting the knees towards the armpits or high triceps, then slowly tip forward. Maybe you keep your toes on the ground. Maybe you take one foot off and switch. Or you find that light crow balance. Feel the grip in the fingertips, the grip through the callus line as you play with that crow, and the weight shift within your hands. Hold for another couple seconds, play with this, and then find the toes, the balls, the heels, and just hang out in that squat position. Can we do that one more time? Place the fingertips down, the callus line, the palms. Really spread out. Get up on the balls of the feet to get those knees high in the armpits. Bend elbows as we find our crow balance for about 5, 4, 3, 2, toe ball, heel land, push yourself into that squat, drive down and away to stand up tall.
Whew, those triceps burn from that. I'm not sure if that's the pressure of my knees on them or the work. It's probably both. Let's return to the single leg squats variations. Lauren, take it away.
Oh, all right. Have a light balance aid for this one. We're going to, I'm getting my angles just right. Knee towards over toe. This time, as we sink here, could we find a light balance on the forefoot? So lifting up the heel. Maybe even take the hand off the balance aid for a second, then place the heel back down and extend the hips through. And repeat 2 more times. Knee towards over toe. Then let that heel peel off the floor. Find that bent knee balance. Place the heel back down and drive through to tall. One last time on this side. Knee towards over toe. Light raise to find a balance. Holding. Then heel connects. Extend the hip through to tall.
Oh, so close.
And dismount with control.
Oh, so
Shake
close.
that out. And breathe. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We just got a low battery warning there.
Oh, low battery. That's okay.
Okay. We're going to try to keep on top of that battery. Knee towards over toe first. That other leg is up. Then find that light balance towards the ball of the foot. Heel pulls up. Then heel connects. Drive the hip through to tall. Repeat again. Knee towards over toe. Peel towards that demi point. Reconnect the heel and drive the hips through. One last time, knee towards over toe. Find that balance on the forefoot. Hold it. Then heel and press through to tall. Whew.
In my own opinion, I think that is one of the hardest balance drills that we do in this practice. Balancing on that bent knee, super challenging. My quads light up. And I think Lauren feels much the same. We have a couple more zoo exhibits to go through here. Which ones are they? The crab. So let's get to the floor through that squat, just like last time. Pull yourself down into your low squat. And take a hand and place it behind you. Take the other hand, place it behind you, and then heel toe those legs together to sit like Lauren. From here, I prefer to have my fingertips face laterally. Check in that the shoulders and the hands feel safe and strong. First, drag your bum back by imagining pulling the femur heads into the hips. And hopefully that feels like you're tipping your tailbone back, like in a cow posture from yoga. Then scoop the hips under and do it so much if you're safe for it that the hips could actually leave from the floor to this bridge. Then draw those femur heads back in. So we tip the hips to lead this movement and pull those femur heads in, pull those femur heads in, pull the legs into the hip sockets so much that your bum could touch the ground. Then keep pulling. Then push, squeeze your butt cheeks, extend those hips, and approach your high bridge. From the high bridge, your bum is squeezed. Relax the bum cheeks and pull those femur heads back into the hips. Pull, pull, pull. Think hip compression here. There's never enough. You keep pulling, keep pulling. My hip flexors are cramping. How about yours? And for one more time, scoop, squeeze, extend those hips to our high bridge. Hold for a second. Then tip the hips down or back. Pull those femur heads back in. Return to your tall sit. And then easy, melt out of that. And let's stand back up. Anyhow that works for you. Add the little shake, add the little wiggle, and another set of our squats.
All right, we're gonna add on. Get that balance aid out. Whoops, knee towards over a toe, sorry, something itchy. Knee towards over a toe first with that low position on the other leg. Knee up, knee towards over toe. This time we'll find that balance on that forefoot, we'll hold it, and we'll press out of it to grow tall. And then control the down. Have that balance aid and use it lightly. Knee towards over toe. Light rise to the ball of the foot. Own it, press out of it, and slow down. One last time. Knee over toe. Light rise, balance. Press through it. Hold up here for a second longer, and slow descent. Whew.
I take back what I said about that previous balance drill. This is the hardest balance drill in my own opinion.
M-I-O.
E.
In my opinion.
Experience, that's right. My bad. In my own experience, in my own opinion. Okay, it's 8 o'clock on a Saturday.
Knee towards over toe. Gently rise to that ball of the foot. Press to tall. And then slow down. I thought I didn't know how to spell opinion for a second. Knee over toe. Gently find that rise. Drive down to press up. Feel those quads fire up. The knee stays straight as you slowly come down. One last time. Knee over toe. Find that balance. Press through to tall. Own it, hold it, knee straight. Slowly descend. And shake it out.
I know that if you watch that in slow motion or even fast motion, my face is making some very silly faces there, figuring out how to best balance. We're going to keep it with Lauren here for a second as she takes us through one more zoo exhibit, the elephant to the crab.
The elephant meets the crab.
Elephant meets a crab. That's
one
heck of a hybrid species.
It is. It's going to look something like this. Hinge. Walk out to your elephant position. Nice long spine. Leg. Let's go leg flick. Reach the leg up, then reach it over. Arm leaves the floor, extend to your crab position. Then we go hand first, leg second, rotate back to that elephant. Give yourself some space. Let's do it all together. Hip hinge. Walk yourself out to your elephant. Keep that tailbone slightly tilted towards the ceiling. From that elephant shape, lift a single leg, reach it up. Then start bending it to reach it over. Handle leaves the floor. Lift into your crab position. Now, other hand leaves the floor first. Then the toe or foot will leave as you pivot on the other one to find that elephant. Let's go one more time in this direction. Flick, straight leg first. Then bend the knee, reaching it over, reaching long, pivoting, hips up. One last time, hand, pivot, foot, elephant. Now we have to go back where we came from. Other foot flicks, long leg first. Then it reaches over. Pivot, rotate to crab. Hand. Reach, look with your eyes as you rotate back to that elephant. One last time, elephant to crab. Reach, open up. And one last time, crab to elephant, hand, foot. End up in your elephant position. Then bend your knees, pushing your hips back. Long spine, and up tall.
And shake. The zoo exhibits help us prepare for the handstand. Are you trying your handstand? Are you ready for your handstand? If so, join us for up to a minute of what we call our craziness in this 45 minutes as we continue to work on our handstand. If you're not ready for that, check out the plank. Check out that elephant crawl. Build endurance and strength for the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, the core, and the brain to think about how hard it is to be upside down, but also knowing how fun it is to challenge yourself in this way. So without more delay, 1 minute-ish of the ultimate challenge of today's practice, that handstand. Ready to go, Lauren?
Yes, and we're really pushing our battery life here, so if anything happens during this 1 minute, it's been a great time. We'll do it again soon.
Thank you. Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, and go. Oh. All right, that's about 45 seconds.
A little rough for
I'm
me
going to
today.
finish on that one for today. As some days are harder and higher gravity
I'm gonna
feels
do
than
one more
others,
set, actually.
and I'll shake it out. I'm happy with what I did. Lauren's going to try to find 1 or 2 more graceful entry and exits to the handstand, and is trying to find that right weight to get upside down, find your line, hang out for time.
It's okay.
Next time we'll get it.
Whew.
So thank you very much for joining us here today live on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. It's our weekend workout. We invite you to play with your strength. Thanks for being here. I'm Ian as always.
I'm Lauren still.
Sometimes I'm an elephant, sometimes I'm a crab, but no matter what we are, we're strong with you and you. So thank you very much again. Have a great weekend. Stay tuned to the link letter. If you're not a member, visit barsandbells.com/membership. We look forward to training with you soon. Take care. Stay strong. Have a great day.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.